Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a little quick intro video on a mind-blowing session that I did with my friend and tarot card reader Tracy from Melbourne. Now, Tracy and I have done a couple of sessions in the past, and the information that comes through from her subconscious is actually quite mind-blowing. So this time around, we spoke about the twin flame journey. I know it's a source of heartbreak and confusion for many in the spiritual community. And in this video, it talks about the true purpose for the twin flame journey and what that actually means. And a really powerful message that came through for Tracy is that true love is not romantic. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video. We also spoke about the rapture and the information that she received about the rapture. Again, it's not what we think and not what we've been led to believe. So take what information resonates with you and leave what doesn't. Keep in mind that this is a client session and information that came through from that session. So I'll put all our links below. If you want to book in a session with me, a mentoring or healing session, my links will be below in the description of this video. If you want to book a reading with Tracy, I'll put her links below as well and ways to contact her. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Like I said, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I hope you enjoy the information that comes through. So I'd like you to find yourself deep in your subconscious mind. And I'd like to start a bit about asking about the twin flame journey. So just allowing yourself to really drop into the heart space. You are deep in your subconscious mind. Just looking at the twin flame journey for what it is. And when you're ready, just let me know what you're aware of.
What is the twin flame journey? Love, pure and simple, pure, true. So if I'm looking through records, Akashic records, whatever, I don't know what they are. Okay, so now I'm seeing like a feminine form, kind of like Shiva, Shakti, the Shakti, which is the Indian form. Shakti, Shiva. It is sacrifice, it is love, it is pure, it is simple. It is non-judgmental. It is peace. And it is between two people. It is Shiva and Shakti, pretty much. That's what I'm getting a vision of. Shiva, Shakti. Shaktiput. Oh, Shaktiput is the Kundalini rising of the feminine, which has already occurred.
How has it occurred?
Within. It starts from within. It's the power of the Shakti, which is the base, the Kundalini base spine, and it comes up through and all the way up through. It's like a dance of the Kundalini through the body, from the base chakra, which is those sexual centers there. So it comes all the way up through and out. So it's got to do with masculine, feminine. masculine, feminine, the rise of the feminine, then the rise of the divine masculine.
And could you explain a little bit about how that's manifesting in the world right now?
It starts from within every single person that is coded and activated for this particular change to occur.
Everyone, or some people more so than others?
It will every single person has the key that activates that energy within. Everybody. Everybody has this. So it will happen, it will depend on, so when the frequency is at its highest peak, it's a form of, oh, okay. So it's a form of is it the like rapture in some I've heard the rapture explained in all sorts of different ways, but this is more what it is. It's like an internal rapture that happens, that occurs. It's like an activation that occurs, that will occur. There are a lot of people on the earth plane at this point in time who have activated their Shakti Put, which is of course the feminine. That is already manifested, but you cannot have one without the other. So the Shiva, the divine masculine, must now step up. But it's to do with frequency and energy. So it's got to do with frequency, energy, and divine timing. There is nothing to do except give up all to the one God, whatever, because that is the divine light, that is the golden light, that is all that is. That is unconditional love in its pure form. And it is that we must give ourselves up to that divine light, that golden light that is manifesting for all of us and is manifesting on this earth plane at this time. So I'm not sure about, so twin flame is, I'm not so sure anymore what that is. We've been told many things about it by different people.
What is the purpose of it? The journey, the twin flame journey?
To get us to the point that of being at one with all that is, and in that divine light. It's activating that divine spark within, that divine flame within. And there are certain people along the way that will activate and help to activate, help to clear, help to activate our own divine spark and our own divine flame within us. So the divine flame, it's not actually, okay, so the divine flame is actually within each and every single one of us.
So how is it that it activates within some and not the others?
At the moment, well, depending on frequency, depending on how much clarity that you are able to access at any given time, how much of the spiritual work that you do. It's really about frequency. So as you lift your frequency into like your vibration into a completely different vibrationary field, frequency field, that's when the divine, when you pretty much give yourself up to God, to all that is when the divine flame begins to, that spark begins to ignite. So it's actually within each and every single one of us. So really, in reality, we are all one. We are all, this is going to sound weird, we are all each other's twin flame. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, as I say, there are different people on the journey, and it's really just to get us to activating that divine spark within, which then I keep getting a vision of Mother Mary with the flame in her heart center there. That's the flame. It's in the heart center and in the solar plexus. It's in around this area here. And so when that is activated, that spreads out, that comes from within and then spreads out. So really the whole journey is about being in unconditional love and non-judgment at all times. Yeah, and so as each person begins to do that, then it has a reverberating effect on everything else. So as within, so without. So it's about going within and being able to access that divine spark, that divine flame. And as we begin to do that and let go and let God and pretty much give ourselves totally to God and all that is, that's the rapture pretty much. When that occurs, it's like the it will be in that complete space of unconditional love and being at one with all that is. So the rapture, I think, comes from as within, so without. So is there an outer rapture or whatever? I feel like it comes from within for every single person, I feel. And then it as within, so without, and so it has a reverberating effect on absolutely everything else, everyone else on the planet. So the concept of twin flame, I think, has been to lead us to the truth, which it's not to say that any of it was a falsity or a lie. It's more the fact that it's it will eventually lead us to the truth, because it's the journey of truth So it will eventually lead us it's like a maze in a way, like a game type of thing, and then it leads us pretty much to the truth, which is that we are our own twin flame, and every single person on the face of the earth, as within so without, is our twin flame. Does that make sense? Because every single person has that flame within that is activated when you're, it's what I said, it's got to do with divine timing, but also too, it's got to do with how much spiritual work that you've actually done, I guess. And if you're on the journey, how much you let go and release and let go and let God. So it's being at one with all that is, and with the divine, and with source.
So just back to the...
In a way, it's kind of like letting God, so it's like letting God come within you, or it's activated from without, or from within, but it's sort of like, it's that activation of the God source principle within, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'd just like to go back to the comment about the rapture. So when all of this first started about 3 years ago, I guess, there was a lot of talk about the solar flash, and people were like, the solar flash is coming, be prepared for it. Is that
That's from within? No, it's not. It's from within.
Yeah.
It comes from within. It's like what I see, like I've said, it's in this area here, and it's like a flame.
Yeah.
And when that begins to burn brighter and brighter and brighter, and it floods your whole entire being, that is the rapture. And so for every single person, that is how it's going to manifest, and how that actually happens, whether it happens en masse, whether there is like an activation from the masculine, which is the sun. That could well be the case, where the for those that are in that state of pure like bliss and all at one with all that is, that solar, that activation from within then correlates with the so really the twin flame concept, I think, really comes from the masculine and the feminine. You have the coming together of the earth and the sun being the masculine, the earth Gaia being the feminine. And so it's sort of like a reactivation of those two principles, of the masculine and the feminine, of the earth and the sun. So there's a good chance that there is some sort of activation that will come from the sun to activate that within each and every single person.
And that makes sense, because they spoke about the solar flash, solar being sun, sun is masculine. That's right.
And so, but it begins from within. It comes from within first.
Yeah.
Because as within, so without. So it's that activation of the masculine and the feminine as it comes together, as the earth and the sun move into in union together, if that makes sense. On a frequency band. I don't know how that works. Anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. Yeah. I never thought about it like that before. Okay.
I know.
So
So it's like the twin flame journey has just been this journey to get us to the truth of that the masculine. Well, I guess it's about it is about balancing those energies within, you know, and basically activating that flame, which I see with Mother Mary, you know, like that beautiful Catholic image of Mother Mary with flame.
Yeah. Wow.
She's the mother, and yeah, she is the mother. So yeah.
So in relation to what's happening in the world at the moment, how does the twin flame journey, the twin flame purpose, have a part of that? How is it activating, manifesting with what's happening at the moment?
It's about raising frequency and vibration. So so depending on the energies and it's about frequency. So as your frequency begins to change, then so does the frequency of others around you. And, you know, sort of like you'll have lower frequencies that come in and create a discord. But that will then shift. That will then kind of shift you into a higher frequency until you get to the point of that activation that actually happens. So it's really, the whole thing is about unconditional love, because that's pretty much all there is anyway. And it's just us remembering that who we are, and remembering that we are one with God, with all that is. And it's important to note that absolutely everything that we see or hear or feel is like metaphorical images, I guess, of frequency that is just an interplay of energies and frequencies in together. And it's kind of like this lovely fluid effect that kind of goes around like this, which is, you know, the infinity. It just is. And as it's just a play of frequency, that's really all it is. So we get to play with different frequencies until we get to a certain point where the frequency then becomes so much higher, until we reach that point of the rapture, which will come into play for all of us, for everybody on the planet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So considering what's been happening around the world, this is a very, very high level perspective. That this is ultimately meant to bring us to the truth, back to unconditional love, back to source, really.
Yes. So our interactions with other people, as I say, it's all an interplay of frequency and energy, and it is pretty much leading us. And so, you know, like, as I see it, like I always see it like a music sheet. It's musical lines, and with the feminine as the treble clef, the masculine as the bass clef, and this interplay of beautiful notes that create harmony. And then sometimes when you know, the two notes come together sometimes can make a discord. That discord, of course, like everything, it's like Leonard Cohen in that song Hallelujah, where he talks about the the major fall, the minor fall, which is a minor key, which goes down into sadness, depression, all that sort of thing, because that's where that plays with, and it sometimes can create like a discord, and then it rises into a different frequency band of and a different harmonic, and comes into the major lift. So it's like that's what the whole interplay of each and every single one of us with this energy, this masculine, feminine energy, sometimes can go into a fall where it creates a discord, but then, of course, creates a shift into a major lift where we move into a completely different harmonic. And this is what this constant dance is. But it's also happening on the earth plane as well, where we have for a millennia now been in the minor fall, where there was a discord which created depression, darkness, sadness on every single level for a millennia. And now we are rising into a completely different harmonic, and the whole universe, everything is moving now into this beautiful harmonic, and from this major lift, we're moving out of that now. So this is what's occurring in each and every single one of us in the way that we interplay with ourselves and our energy, and with others as well. It's happening on an internal level as we move through these energies within as well, our energies of healing, and so that is now occurring on the earth plane as well, and there's also cosmologically as well. So as within, so without. So the best thing for everyone to do is to go within and find their own truth, and that's how it manifests in the world. If that makes sense.
That's incredible. Incredible. That's the constant message, and that is to go within.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So there's been a lot of, I guess, there are a lot of theories as to what the twin flame journey is. There's a lot of people in the spiritual community talking about it. Has the twin flame concept been hijacked, and has it infiltrated the spiritual community?
To a certain extent, yes. It's important not to get stuck in one concept of what that journey is and what it looks like, because ultimately it is not about another person, and this is the distraction. So when you are focusing on another person, that is distraction from actually going within and finding your own truth. So has it been hijacked? To a certain extent, yes, but who's done the hijacking? We have done that to ourselves by keeping ourselves locked into a form, an old 3D form of what we perceive love to be, which is a romantic type of love and focusing on another. It is not that. It was never, ever that. But we got ourselves caught up in that state. It has always been about going within and finding our own truth about what unconditional love is, and also too, it's about recognizing that the ultimate divine feminine and the ultimate divine masculine is the earth, which is Gaia, which is the sun. We are all representatives of that, but every part of that lies within every single one of us. So it's all about going within and activating your own divine essence and your what's the word I'm trying to, it's about going within and finding that core essence, which is you, but which is also the divine essence, and being able to recognize it when you find it within yourself and give yourself up to that entirely. And giving, I guess, in a way, it's kind of like devoting your whole entire life to that divine essence that comes from within. Call it God, call it whatever you want. It is that divine essence that is within every single one of us. And that is what we need to be, I guess, married to, which is that ultimate divinity and our total surrender to that. I guess surrendering to God and all that is. That's it. That's the part. So has it been hijacked? We've done that to ourselves because it's kept us trapped in that 3D matrix world, which is based on falsity, lies, and deceit. So, you know, our answers all lie within, every single one of us. All of our answers lie within.
Okay. That's beautiful. Thank you. So you mentioned before something that I wanted to see if you could expand on. The divine masculine must step up. So I know it's a frequency thing, but in terms of the physicality of the world, what we're seeing in the world at the moment, how is that playing out in the physical? Where does the divine masculine need to step up?
Do you know, I've been saying that for so long, but do you know what? I think I'm wrong. I may be wrong.
How so?
Because everything comes from within. We're all one. The divine masculine lies within every single one of us, no matter what. And I keep going back to this. It is seriously, it's about unconditional love, non-judgment for ourselves and therefore others. The relationship was never between another person, between, you know, you and another person. It is totally with yourself. And so as we begin to shift into another frequency band, then so will everybody else. There are things happening on the planet that appear to be that the masculine, I guess the masculine, well, the masculine is part of that linear zone, that linear time zone that we've been in, the Chronos time zone that we've been in. And so everything that we see and feel is a concept, when in reality it's all part of the one. Our biggest thing, the biggest thing that any of us can do, all of us can do, is to remove as much fear from our lives as possible and move into unconditional love, because that is all there is. So what I'm saying is everything comes from within. So best thing you can do is to surrender to the divine, everything to the divine. and know that you are safe at all times. And when you are co-create, then you can co-create with the divine. So that divine essence, that spark that lies within each and every single one of us, is being activated. The more fear you remove from your life, the more love and non-judgment that you have for yourself, the more you will project that outwards, and then that will actually then have a ripple effect, which will then change the world. It all starts from within. So it is acting at all times with great integrity towards the self. And that relationship that you have with the divine, because that is pretty much, the more you surrender and, I guess, let go and let God, surrender to the divine, then more, and it's like you're moving into that. You move from there at any given time, regardless of what a 3D matrix world would judge or see as or will have judgments about anything that, you know, as you're moving from this divine essence, you can never ever go wrong, because you are moving from divinity at all times, and you are moving from that place of non-judgment and love. Then everything else begins to change around you. It has to. And that old 3D world of judgment and of judgment, pretty much, and fear just drops away. It's like changing frequencies, I guess, in that way, but because you're lifting and changing the frequency band, but you're moving away from all of that. And so it's it requires at this time bravery, great courage, but we have that in spades because you've given yourself to God, so there can be nothing could ever really touch you or hurt you anyway. So that's pretty much what it's about. It was never ever about another person. It was always meant to be about our relationship within, to the divine essence, to the source, to us, to all of it. If that makes sense.
So in terms of, I guess, I think you and I have spoken about the men lagging behind. We've spoken about that numerous times, and I, often see that in my work as well, where 95% of my clients are female.
And how much have we judged them?
Yeah.
We ourselves have held ourselves back in that 3D realm of judgment and fear.
We've done it to ourselves.
And we did it to ourselves. Yeah. No judgment. No judgment here.
Mm-hmm.
That's because, this is speaking from a higher perspective. So we've done that to ourselves.
Wow.
So as we judge others, we judge ourselves. I don't know anything much about the Bible, or Christianity or anything very much, even in my dealings with angels and Christ and all that. But it doesn't really matter. That's just but everything that Jesus Christ taught was pretty much everything that we are now beginning to really understand from within. It, you know, everything comes from within, but it's all about non-judgment, you know, and just pure love, true love, which is unconditional, and yeah, it's just no judgment for anything. It's more understanding than anything. And that's what we're moving into. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very deep teaching, very, very deep teaching. And these are very deep keys of knowledge that you're actually talking about, because it's been collectively, I think it's been a much different concept. So do you feel like we're leaving the concept of the twin flame, that we're transcending that collectively?
The old concept, I think it's a journey, and it changes and shifts, and I feel, what is it? Soul connections are souls, two souls. And I guess it's that dance with those souls. But it's like I say, the dance. So yeah, as far as the twin flame, every single person that you are dancing with is your twin flame. Because every single person has that flame of divinity within. And it all lies within, in every single one of us. As we activate that divine source spirit flame, as that ignites, then, you know, that begins to have a reverberating effect on every single person around you. So everyone then becomes that flame, because we're all moving into that same as a collective, we're moving into that divine essence, that flame that is ignited. So that rapturous essence that comes from within when that flame is ignited. And so I think that the twin flame, you know, I don't think that we're growing out of the twin flame journey. It's more the fact that the concept of the twin flame journey, it's not that it's changing, because I think we're beginning to come to the truth of what it really is.
Yeah.
And it's not what we've been led to believe that it is, or what we thought it was, you know.
Yeah. And I hope that this information can ease a lot of heartache, I think, in the community, because there has been a lot of that. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation. And if we can bring some sort of comfort from that higher perspective, I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think so
to
too.
View it from a different perspective.
From a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're all moving into that anyway, you know. As we begin to ignite that flame within, then it has that reverberating effect. But as far as the rapture, I think, comes from within, when that flame is ignited and you are completely in that non-judgmental, loving state, unconditionally loving state at any given moment, at any given time. And of course, but as within, so without. So when you activate that to the solar plexus and the heart center, and it's interesting too, I don't know about the sun, but do the sun have, is there something to do with the solar plexus and the heart center to do with the sun? I don't know, because I'm not an astrologist and I'm not a chakra expert. But I feel like that Gaia and the planets and all that, you know. Oh, so now I'm getting an image of, you know, like every single cell in our body is like its own universe anyway. And so I always will state that it all comes from within. All the rapture, everything comes from within. And, you know, everything that we see in our outer world is just a projection of what is within, and is housed within each and every single cell in our body, every nucleus. So the rapture comes from within. And is there a projected sun? The solar rays that come seem to have like it comes from within, and yet we project what we project as the solar logos or the sun or the masculine on the outside is actually lies within anyway. So it's a weird concept. So everything comes from within, even that rapture, even that, all of that comes from within. And as we, but you know, of course, the earth and the cosmos and the sun is all a projection of what lies within anyway. So it all activates in its own way together. That frequency band. Maybe it will come to a point where on that music, you know, that music page, the lines of music, that as we move into this major lift, that is where the masculine and the feminine become completely in one, in harmony, moving out of that discord, where the earth and the sun have not been able to join in harmony. We'll be able to join in harmony for the masculine and the feminine on that musical, on the as music, as a harmonic of frequency. But still again, as within, so without. So all of this comes from within.
Yeah, and as you're speaking, I'm getting I keep getting the word illumination.
Yes.
It's illumination.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like I see a picture of it's musical notes, but they're angels. And the musical sheet, you know, the lines and the treble clef. And then you've got the lower, you know, the masculine as well. And all of it is like this complete harmony of angels. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Are there any other keys of wisdom, any other information that you can tell us about this journey before we finish?
No, just go within, find your divine essence, and marry yourself to that. Because when you do, you move from that center always. It is your center. If you find that center, you will move from that always. Anytime that you feel that you are in judgment or not in love, it's go back to that divine center, which is within each and every single one of us, in the solar plexus and the heart center. It's right here, to that flame. That is your divine essence. And if you see it in form of like God, Jesus Christ, Mary, it does not matter. You know, the Buddha, does not matter. Whatever divine essence that you find as the source of greatest wisdom for yourself, you're all one anyway with all it is. And you will find that when you marry yourself to that divine essence, then you will always move in harmony.
Beautiful.
So let go, let God. Let God carry you to wherever it is that you've got to go to. You'll be in perfect peace, bliss all of the time. That's it.